Hey, friends. Welcome back to History Savvy. Well, as you've probably heard or probably seen, the Masters of the Air trailer has dropped today, and it is really exciting. So, this is the third installment in a sort of trilogy going back 20 years with Band of Brothers. Then we have the Pacific, and now we've got a look at the air war over Europe. And I think this miniseries will probably be something of a revelation for a lot of the viewing audience, as unless you're interested in aviation history, chances are you've not had a lot of exposure to the stories of these men who fought in aerial combat over, the Netherlands and Germany especially, and other places in Eastern Europe. So this is something new that I think a lot of people haven't experienced before, and to apply the masterful storytelling that was, used in Band of Brothers and then the Pacific is thrilling. So I've got really high hopes for this. I'm sure you do too, and many others. So I'll stop yammering. Let's get into it.
Let's rack 'em up and knock 'em down. When you look at it, you don't pay attention to what's really going on. It's kind of beautiful.
Love the music already. Now, I hope the music's good, as I love the music of Band of Brothers. I love the music of the Pacific. I prefer Band of Brothers a little bit more, but the Pacific has some really beautiful, moving pieces in it. So I also have confidence that the music for the Masters of the Air will be good as well. Now, with the trailer, I think it's difficult to really say for sure whether or not this also includes a look at the music, as trailer music is really tailored for the trailer to make it exciting and attention grabbing and things like that. But hopefully, the music is good.
We came from every corner of the country with a common purpose. To bring the war to Hitler's doorstep.
These daylight missions. They're suicide.
And watch the move.
I didn't understand that line of dialogue, and I feel like Hollywood tends to allow mumbling in their dialogue, and it's a new and annoying feature. So I'm gonna have a look at what he says here.
And watch the move.
And watch the move, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I hope there's not a lot of mumbling in it, as I don't love having subtitles on. I'd rather just watch the film in its purity, so to speak. But he said these daylight missions, they're suicide. And that's because the Americans bombed Germany during the day while the British bombed during the night. And that daylight bombing wasn't exactly popular, as you can understand, among many American airmen. But we also see the use of the Flak 88 that the Germans used to just decimate a lot of these bomb groups. The Flak 88 was really the cause of a lot of stress, anxiety, and PTSD during and after the war, as the flak shrapnel would just shred planes, it would shred people. But luckily or happily for these crews, the B 17 was a very hardy aircraft and could maintain airworthiness, so to speak, to get them home.
We lead our boys through it.
Love the music swell. Wow.
through this. Even if the odds are stacked against us. First time in the sawmill, boys. Let's rack 'em up and knock 'em down.
Wow. So that was a terrific trailer. Even got a little bit of chills there. But the scope of this project appears to be really big, as we saw the Tuskegee Airmen. So we're going to be looking at least a bit at their story. We saw a guy falling and in hand-to-hand combat with a German. So we're going to be looking at a POW story as well. We're going to at least have some exposure to the British civilian experience during the wars. We saw that bombed out building with the police officer carrying the body of a girl. So this is really big in scope. Um, Again, looking forward to it. What I hope they have focused on here is more than just the pilots. As these air crews, they became as close as family, and they had to, given the circumstances. For example, the flight engineer, he knew that aircraft inside and out. He knew it better than the pilots, yet the pilots knew more about flying than the flight engineer did. So they had to work in concert with one another to make the mission successful. And that goes for the rest of the crew as well. So they were a tight knit family. Crews became super close, and I hope they have captured that in this series. If you're interested in learning more about adjacent experiences over Europe, there's a book by Joseph Banks. He was a flight engineer. I had the honor of meeting him right about 2005. He was the sole survivor of his B 17 that was shot down over Germany, and he became a POW. So I heard him talk about his experiences as in combat and then as a POW, and then dealing with what we would call PTSD after the war. It's a great book. It's called Distant Prayer by Joseph Banks. Another book I would recommend is I Could Never Be So Lucky Again by Jimmy Doolittle. Now, Jimmy Doolittle became the commander of the Mighty Eighth, the 8th Air Force, in 1944. He was there through 1945. And his look is more of an administrative look, but it's still an interesting look at how the 8th Air Force operated, kind of the larger, picture of the air war. So that can kind of complete the story where if you read Masters of the Air and other experiences from the 100th Bomb Group and the 8th Air Force, looking at Jimmy Doolittle's will help you understand the perspective from the upper echelons, the top brass. So you have a more complete picture of what was going on at this time during World War II. So, with that said, I hope you liked the reaction. I enjoyed watching it. I'm looking forward to watching Jared over at Real History, his reaction, as he's way more of a World War II historian than I am. My focus is on social history or 19th century. He's way more into World War II. So if he hasn't posted a video yet, I'm sure he will post a video. So definitely head over to his channel and watch that as well. I will be. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.